Welcome back to the Angry Man Podcast with Jason and Greg. So Jay, earlier in the week we did a video in regards to Shakur Stevenson and some comments that he made that seemed to inadvertently throw shade at Terrence Crawford. Now, Shakur Stevenson was on the pivot, and Terrence Crawford asked the host to ask Shakur Stevenson how does he feel about the way that he's been promoted since he's been with Top Rank. And Shakur essentially responded with, he feels that he's been promoted fine because at the end of the day, he's also a self-promoter, and he feels that he's done a wonderful job in promoting himself. And I tended to agree with that, Jay, that, he's been on social media. He's used that platform masterfully in terms of keeping his name relevant out there, even when he didn't have a fight. The beef, the back and forth with Devin Haney, with Frank Martin, all those things kept Shakur Stevenson's name hot in these streets. And we've heard a number of different outlets, not only outlets, but Shakur Stevenson himself talk about the ratings that he's had on ESPN relative to his fights, and that he gets a lot of eyeballs on the television when he's in the ring fighting. I always push back on that because in my personal opinion, ESPN ratings don't necessarily tell the entire tale. Terrence Crawford has some wonderful ESPN ratings as well. And when it came time to pay-per-view, he didn't do all that well, right? So I don't know if that necessarily tells the entire story. Now, with Shakur Stevenson, we're roughly, a week out from his fight now?
Exactly a week out. It's next Thursday.
Yeah. So a week out from his fight. And if you go to Ticketmaster or StubHub or any other outlet in regards to selling tickets for events, you'll see that there are plenty of seats left for Shakur Stevenson versus De Los Santos. Just looking here, Jay, Section 11, 13, 10, 10, 10 is S, V, R, Q, W, P, S. There's floor seats. It's just a number of seats left. And I'm going to be honest with you, just in full disclosure. I have not been someone that has looked at, the overall ticket sales a week out from a particular fight. But I would imagine, or in my past, I didn't typically do that to compare and contrast it. But you would think that there would be less tickets available 1 week out. Doesn't feel like the fight is selling in the way that they would have hoped.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure that Top Rank is probably concerned with the level of sales, considering I think he's being guaranteed, at least for the Frank Martin fight, he was being guaranteed $4 million.
I don't know, something like that, I believe.
Yeah, I think it was $4 million. So we'll see how that ends up going. But if this ends up the way that we think it could, I think Shakur is going to have to make sure that he's more prudent moving forward in terms of his negotiations with someone like Devin Haney or Gervonta Davis, because he doesn't appear to necessarily be the draw that we think he is, or he thinks he is. So, Jay, what's your thought on that? And before I move to that, you can compare and contrast it to Devin Haney. If I'm not mistaken, the first week that the tickets were available, I think Devin Haney sold like 5,000 or 7,000 or something like that for the Chase Center. Now, the capacity at T-Mobile Arena is about 20,000. Chase Center is about 18,000. Devin does still have a number of tickets that are still out there available for purchase in several different rows and things of that nature. But the extent to the amount of tickets is hard to really tell. But at the end of the day, Devin still is a month out from the fight. So we'll see how ticket sales end up going for him. But clearly, in my mind, Devin is a bigger draw than Shakur. And I know people will make the argument that Devin is fighting in his hometown, but still, man, we knew Devin was from the Bay Area, but how much has Devin really been repping the Bay like that? Not a whole lot, and a lot of his time has been spent out in Vegas. So this feels like he's a bigger draw. Yeah, it feels like he's a bigger draw. But Jay, what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, it's disappointing, man. I saw stuff on Twitter that people were talking about, but I thought they were just, putting stuff out there just to hate on Shakur and things like that. But when we started doing our research and looking at it, I was like, dang, there's a lot of tickets still out there, and some of them are in decent sections, and they're not expensive. When I saw a lot of floor seats out there, it's some few seats here and there on the main floor, but right behind the first floor, it's lots of openings there for you. So that's
And what are they like?
concerning on
400,
that aspect. No,
$500,
there.
$700, something like that, between $400 and $700.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm not expecting. I mean, I know this is not a mega fight, but if you're like the big draw, you should be able to really pack it no matter damn near no matter who you're fighting. You know, so I can't really put this necessarily on Shakur honestly fully on this because it all comes about promotion, also who your dance partner is as well. But it is concerned that it's that many tickets available for a fight that you have next week. Another thing is the fact that it's on a Thursday. So I'm quite sure that's impacting sales because it's not like it's a holiday the next day. People still gotta go to work, you know. So I mean that's definitely going. I think that's impacting it and all the other stuff that was going on in Vegas. I believe they had like a car racing event or something like that, which is why they said they wouldn't put them on a Saturday, so they put them on a Thursday. So I was like, I think Shakur may have just did this because he really wanted to fight. And he was like, bump it, I'm gonna get paid pretty decently, so I'll do it. And I believe this might be his last fight with Top Rank anyway, so why not? You know what I'm saying? He'll take the loss of it not being a big sellout or turnout and be able to call his own shots on his own on himself by himself by being a free agent next year if he so chooses to go that route. But a week out and that many tickets is still available. That's concerning still, even on a Thursday night.
Yeah, definitely concerning for him, not necessarily us. I want the kid to do
him.
well. I know sometimes he pushes your button the wrong way. I've grown to understand exactly what it is that he's trying to do, and so it doesn't necessarily bother me too much in regards to just the constant bickering back and forth on Twitter. And I mean that's what he does. That's how he promotes himself. A lot of the young fighters promote themselves in that way.
Too.
Yeah, a lot of the younger fighters promote themselves in that way, and it is what it is. So, but we'll see how this ends up turning out. I think he might have spoke a little bit too soon when he started talking about promoting himself, and what makes him special, I guess, is that he really believes in what he's selling. I think most fighters actually believe in what they're selling. It's a matter of whether or not your style is a style that will excite fight fans, excite casual fans to order your fights, to come out and watch you fight. I think he has a great style. I like the style that he has, but it's not necessarily a crowd-pleasing style. Mayweather didn't necessarily always have a crowd-pleasing style, but for people like us, we really enjoy seeing the masterful style of Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
But Floyd also incorporated his talk game as well, and making sure that people wanted to see him lose. And got people interested in coming out to see him lose, regardless of how his style was. And then, regardless of how you feel about Floyd when he was fighting in his later years, he actually used a style that was he wasn't as elusive in terms of using lateral movement in order to get away from fighters. He kind of stayed in the pocket. Yeah, stayed in the pocket a lot and threw punches, and so that made him a little bit more exciting as far as I'm concerned. Anything else you want to share with people before we move on to the next one?
No. Last thing would be, I can't say this is the sales not the fact that these tickets aren't selling like they should, or like he thinks they should, or Top Rank wanted them to. It's not just all on Shakur because you have to have a good dance partner as well. De Santos hasn't really been. I haven't seen him out there as well. He's not really a known fighter to that degree. I give him all the credit in the world for talking a lot of noise and finally getting this fight for him. But your dance partner also has a part in how the tickets are selling.
Earlier in his career, Tank didn't necessarily have great dance partners either, and could fill out an arena here, State Farm Arena. Fair. Yeah, I'm talking about. I'm comparing the Tank from earlier in his career, a few years ago, where he was fighting. Who did he fight in Atlanta? Who was that he fought in Atlanta? I'm trying to remember now. Was it Cambosos? I think it was Cambosos that he fought.
Tank never fought.
No, Gamboa. Sorry, Gamboa. I think that was Gamboa that he fought in Atlanta. But you guys tell us what you think in the comment section in regards to Shakur Stevenson. Doesn't necessarily seem like he is drawing at the T-Mobile Arena as he should. Don't forget to hate, like, comment, and subscribe. This is the Angry Man Podcast, AM Sports Media, and we are out.